So my two options seem to be either I can record at high quality with like 1 frame an hour, or I can record at low quality with like 5 frames an hour. Whatever. We'll go with more frames, lower quality, because I think that's a little less distracting. So if you want to, we can just go ahead and start, and whatever the quality it is the quality that it is.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm fine
Well,
with anything.
I think it's probably not going to turn out perfect regardless, so um let's just carpe diem. Let's just go for it. I'm at my wit's end anyway because I've been fighting with Skyrim for literally like 5 or 6 hours yesterday and 4 or 5 hours today. So
Oh.
okay, so nice cup. Uh I guess I'll intro since it's my channel. So hello everybody. This is Cleo from Games Over Fight, and here we are interviewing Bunny Bennett of Steam Powered Giraffe, who plays the rabbit, and you have Catwoman behind you, and she's staring into my soul. So hi, how are you?
I'm great. It's good to be here.
It's good to be here in Pennsylvania or whatever. So you guys have been doing an insane amount of shows lately. Like I don't know when you sleep. I guess obviously you don't have to. But so I know you've got a Comic-Con show coming up. Are you actually playing at Comic-Con?
No, well, see, there's no shows that are actually at Comic-Con aside from the Masquerade.
Yeah,
So, we'll be playing during Comic-Con, Thursday, July 18th. We're having a little expo, that's sort of themed around the
yeah, the
lore.
Walter Robotics Expo, which is
Right,
going to
and
be
we're gonna
3 to 11, I think.
Right, you have a good memory. Yeah, it's going to be a whole day of events and
And
performers.
so what else will be there besides obviously you guys performing? I know you're gonna have like vendors. Are they all gonna be steampunk themed, or is there just gonna be
Most of them. There's also Professor Elemental, who's the steampunk rapper from the UK. There
nice?
is Dino Stats, who is a steampunk magician. Really fun show. The League of Steam. They do their own little webisodes. And a couple other
Loser.
local losers going to be there, and a couple other local. Uh,
Loser is an acronym. It stands for is that the League of Steam? No,
no,
that's the
it's
League of
it's I can't remember
something.
yeah, but it's a
It's
local
like
San Diego steampunk
Evil
group.
Geniuses or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
I think we might have
Every
to
time you
talk
say
to
loser, I'm like,
launch
wait,
too.
what?
Yeah, yeah, loser. I guess they're villains, and they call themselves loser. It's an acronym for something longer. But yeah, so we're trying to get all the steampunk folks involved, and it'll be fun.
So it'll be a little miniature steampunk thing and steam powered draft. So pretty awesome. What? How much are tickets?
Tickets are $25, and you can buy them right now by going to www.steampoweredgiraffe.com.
Awesome. Okay, so I think we've done enough plugging. Now let's actually talk about games since that is
Yeah,
the
on to the important stuff.
yes, on to the important stuff. So unlike your brother David, you've always been, from my understanding, I talk good. You've always been into like MMO, more social type games. Is that accurate?
I wouldn't say I enjoy, Farmville or anything like that. So definitely not
Well,
those type of social games, but I do enjoy MMOs for the social aspects, definitely.
yeah, I know you
Yeah, I've
have
always been a
like
big fan.
20 max level WoW characters, and now you're into Guild Wars 2, I hear. What was the
Yeah.
first MMO you really got into?
City of Heroes, which is sadly defunct now, but it was a lot of fun.
I
Yeah.
remember City of Heroes. I made a little tiny girl that was all like a lizard girl, and she had like venom powers, I think. But yeah, did you ever play EverQuest?
I tried, and it was just
Aw.
too grindy.
Hey, that was the first, well, one of the first
But
ones.
you'll remember a little game came out called World of Warcraft, which basically took that idea and kind of, expanded. So that
Yeah,
was the reigning king in my mind for a while.
yeah, I know. I mean, I basically just started with EverQuest because it was the only one, and I remember thinking like, "Oh my God, I can play with other people. This is
Mm.
amazing." Um, but yeah, are there any non-MMOs that you really like?
I'm looking over at my All I got is MMOs over there. But I got some Steam games. I'm playing StarCraft 2, the new expansion that came
Oh,
out.
Heart of the Swarm. Ah, I haven't gotten that yet.
Yeah.
I just bought Dragonborn yesterday. It doesn't make sense because Skyrim isn't even working for me right now, and I just bought DLC for a game that doesn't work. But yeah, that's pretty fun. Are you playing multiplayer or are you playing the story?
I just play the story. I'm not very good at multiplayer.
Not convenient
No,
enough.
I'm not good at strategy games, but I try.
So, is Zerg's your favorite?
I do like the storyline so far. It's pretty cool. I do like Zerg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it, but is Kerrigan in it?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
That's probably why I like it. It's pretty cool.
I know
Yeah, I
she's
like the
awesome.
story.
Um, I'm losing my place. Okay, so I guess looking back at your first MMOs experiences, like what was the most fun for you, and what do you look back at now and are like, why did I put up with that? I presume grinding, but
Yeah, I mean, WoW's early days were definitely a little more grindy than they are today. I remember, level 40 grinding for gold to get your mount, and it was such a huge achievement. And now they practically give you one at level 20,
yeah.
which is cool. I'm okay with that. It just kind of has changed so much.
Yeah,
So I don't
they
really
kept
play.
lowering the level that you required, and it was like I worked so hard for my mount, and then as soon as I got my mount, they're like, "Oh, now you can get it 10 levels lower," and I'm like,
It'd be nice if they gave us an achievement like, I don't know, old school or something. I don't know. They should do that.
"That's
Maybe
better."
just for having an account since 2004, that would be pretty
Yeah. Well, you
old
have
school.
the WoW time played, so I guess it's
Yeah.
kind of an achievement. I don't know. What's the point of achievements anyway? If achievements like turned into real life cash, maybe,
They
but
do. Sometimes they give you titles and pets and mounts, so
vanity
there's a
stuff.
use. Yeah. I like vanity stuff. That's why I
I
play
like how
Guild
they have
Wars.
I like how they like have us in the palm of their hands and they're like, "You spend all this time and money on our game so that we give you an in-game item." It's like, wait, what? When you think about it, it's kind of silly. But whatever gives your life meaning. So, what kind of character types do you like playing the most? Like male, female? You like being human or elf or beast and, mage, warrior, whatever?
Well, I guess all my characters are female. I don't consciously know why, but I always
That's
roll
so many
females. I
people are
mean,
guys.
I guess some viewers might have a good understanding if they're familiar with my work and stuff, but typically I only roll the monster races. In WoW, I ran a Forsaken guild, a Forsaken only guild. So, and Forsaken, as you know, are the undead zombie people. In Guild Wars, I play a Char. So, I like the undead or the monsters. I don't
You
like
like the
playing the.
chance to not be what you are in real life. You like to be as weird as possible, kind of.
I guess, yeah. I'm not weird in real life at all, so, it,
Well, physically, like if you can have wings and I mean, I wish there were more dragon races in games. I mean, I can see they're kind of overpowered
well,
probably, but little baby
I
wings.
guess. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, yeah, I like the creepy races. I mean, I like necromancers a lot, but I do roll warriors. Warriors are my main on WoW. Engineer on Guild Wars. I like having rifles and pistols. So I don't know.
Yeah. As I know, it's funny because when I first started out playing games, especially MMOs, I was only interested in thief characters. But at this point, I've played so many thief characters that it's like, so I have to start a new character in Skyrim now because the mods messed up. And so I'm like, I'm gonna be a warrior. I've never been a straight warrior in Skyrim before. So I don't know if it's the same for you, but basically when you play so many games with the same type, you get kind of burnt out and you want to try different stuff. No paladins though. I hate paladins.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I get tired of I like the thief mechanics and stuff, but I just do not like the look of most leather armor in games. It's just not as interesting as a pretty dress or, a badass suit of armor with giant shoulders.
Yeah. When are we gonna get a steampunk MMO, really? I mean,
Well, they,
steampunk's
they
been
got
big.
they got a couple bad ones. They got City of Steam, which
Really?
I
I
played
don't even
beta, and
remember
I mean
that.
it was beta, but it seemed a little eh. I mean Guild Wars
We should
has some
petition
steampunk
that.
aspects, and so does WoW.
Yeah. I know. I haven't played Guild Wars 2 in a long time. My friend gave me his account because he hated it. But I remember for the Halloween thing, I went to that one city that's like built out of all the shipwrecks.
Mhm.
I don't know what it's called, but when I stepped in there, like up to that point, I'd just been in like the starter cities, so I was like, okay, whatever, it looks like every other world. Then I got transported there. I'm like, like this place is so awesome. So it's cool that we have, that technology is improving to the point where we can have huge worlds like that. I know like one thing that they really improved is putting everything client side now, where it used to be server side, and as a result lag was huge. And one thing I think that's really cool about Guild Wars is that there's actually platforming. That's a little bit, in my
Yeah,
experience, it's a little bit broken because lag is still kind of an issue, but I mean, think about that. Like 5 years ago, that would never happen.
it's true. It's
Or
true.
the yeah, or the shooter MMOs that we have now, which is kind of crazy because you have to line up the shot, and it kind of ruins when you're lining up the shot and then the person like glitches to the side, and it's like,
Mm.
oh. Did you
Yeah.
try any of the shooters?
I've been playing Defiance, if that
Yeah, I
counts.
heard that. No, Defiance is cool. I played the beta. Do you watch the show at all?
I do. I watch the show and I play the game, casually, but it's growing on me. It took a while, but it's growing on me.
What, like the mechanics or the world or
Yeah,
the
they just kind of spit you out, and really the first arc fall is where I think they hook you. But it took me for so long to get that first arc fall to fall, and I was like, oh, I see the appeal. This is
and for
fun. But it's
people and for people who haven't played Defiance, what exactly is an arc fall?
well, it's made by is it Treon? Is that how you say it? Treon Worlds. It's made by the same people that do Rift, so it's kind of like a Rift. It's the same mechanic. A giant portal, or in this case, an asteroid, falls down randomly in the world, and it shows up on the map. It lights up, and all these bugs come out, or this event happens, whatever it happens to be, and all these people race over it into their SUVs and start, fighting
Converge
so
on
they
the
get some
point,
loot.
yeah.
Yeah, you get sweet loot, so it's
Is
fun.
there a friendly fire? Can you hurt others?
I don't know.
You don't make a
I
habit out
think
of
I've been
shooting other
hurt by
people?
grenades. I'm not sure though. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I can see if they turn that off because otherwise there's going to be like way too much griefing because it's going to be like some people go there to do, to kill the monsters and other people go there to kill people that go there to kill the monsters. So I guess
I
that
don't
it'd
think
probably
it's.
have
I
to
don't
be
think you
like,
can. I think it's. I don't think you can actually kill anyone in the open world,
oh,
as far as I know.
well, that's, yeah, because I know that was the big thing with WoW is PvE versus PvP. And it was like, I wish there was like an in-between because PvE is kind of boring, but PvP, I don't know, for me, it was extremely frustrating because I would die every freaking 5 minutes because,
Yeah.
level 60s would come by and just to be assholes, they'd kill you. And it's like,
Have you
I
tried
hope
the
you
world
fail.
versus world in Guild Wars too?
I think I tried it as a special event. I actually need to get back into Guild Wars too. I didn't
You
have
should
anyone to
try
play
it.
with, so.
It's pretty fun. The world versus world. I don't like PvP that much, but it's like safe, but it's not safe. I don't know. It's kind of
Mhm.
you dying is not such a big deal, but when you don't die and you take out like 10 people, it's awesome. It's an awesome feeling.
That sounds like, yeah, that's like me in Halo. Because I'm not very good at Halo, but when I do have my moments, I'm like, yeah, I'm untouchable. Um, so I also know that I don't know if you still do, but I know you used to be a pretty hardcore role player in WoW. Do you still do that in Guild Wars?
The band kind of took off, and
Aw.
yeah, I kind of hung up my coat, so to say. But I do occasionally. I'm still in a role play guild, but it's very light for me. I go to events, and we do our guild missions and dungeons, and I'll like occasionally throw out like a one-liner or something. But I just don't have the time. It doesn't mean that I don't
Yeah.
think about my characters or try to develop them. It's just
It's just internal. You're not like putting it out there for
yeah,
everybody else.
But it's fun. I like kind of pretending, and it's kind of a good creative buzz, I
Outlet.
guess. Yes, there
Yeah.
you go. Outlets. Outlets.
Yeah, I know. Like I have friends who really like Skyrim and they don't understand why I roleplay in Skyrim. And I'm like, because it adds so much more if you have a reason for why you're doing these things on the quest. I mean, at least for me. Because it's like if I'm just, going through the motions and just picking whatever's going to give me the better weapon, it gets boring. I don't know. But apparently a lot of people don't care and
You
just do
will
that
play in
anyway.
Skyrim, but it's a single player game.
Mentally, I roleplay.
Oh,
When I'm
okay. Well,
picking
yeah,
when I pick the options.
I get it. I get it.
Like, did you play Skyrim?
Yeah, when it came out, and it was just a little too in depth for me. I'm not a hardcore gamer, so I was like, this feels like a fantasy sandbox. I don't like it. Let me out. So it was just too much. I kind of like being put on rails. I'm one of those gamers. I am the stupid
Aw.
gamer that people complain about on the forum.
But you don't play COD, so you're not that bad. Call of
What?
Duty. Call of Duty.
No, I don't.
So you're like in between. You're not quite as bad as a COD player, but you're not, you can't handle Skyrim. No, it's all right. I mean, it depends on everybody. 'Cause like, yeah, definitely the less time I have, the less I am able to enjoy games because unfortunately things with Skyrim and stuff, playing in little tiny snippets is not enjoyable. It's only really fun when you get to like sit down and play for a couple hours and
Yeah, I can
obviously
agree
you don't have that
with that.
time.
Yeah, I mean it was fun in some ways. It just was like it's just not a world I wanted to get into. It was way too much for me.
Well, maybe if they made Skyrim into a multiplayer. Actually, there is an Elder Scrolls multiplayer game coming out eventually, so
Yeah, it doesn't look very good, but I don't know.
everyone
I'm
says
always
that.
hopeful that people are gonna learn, to make MMOs more enjoyable to play. I think Guild Wars
Yeah.
is a good step forward, and Defiance, they do some cool stuff. So I think we're
Yeah.
on the right track to getting like a nice, I don't know, that's not
Blend.
so grindy, I guess, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Finding ways to have the social aspect without having it be super basic because they're trying to make it accessible to a whole bunch of people. Yeah, I know. Like one thing that Guild Wars does that's really nice, as I'm sure you're familiar, is basically groups. It's just if you're in the vicinity, you're in a group, and I think that's really
Exactly.
nice because it really helps with the whole, you're killing something and then someone runs up and like takes one shot and then runs away or whatever, and like obviously they fixed that a lot, but I don't know if you ever played Ragnarok Online, but that
Hmm.
was old, and that was a huge problem, is that you would be killing something and someone would come up and take like the last shot and they would get all the experience and all the loot, and it was just like so people that are getting into MMOs now, they have it so good. They don't know
They
how
do.
bad it was. We're
It
the
was bad.
pioneers. We're the pioneers that are teaching the kids of today, how to properly, or teaching the developers how to make the games accessible to the kids. So,
Yeah.
talking about
I like
achievements.
accessibility though. I like that they're doing that. I mean, some people like their grindy MMOs, and there's hundreds of those out there, so go ahead and play them. But like
And then
these,
there's
these,
games and then there's games like Final Fantasy which are grindy and single player.
well, those. Yeah, well, the Japanese they really like the grind, so it's and the Koreans they're just play any game. It's like, oh, it's pretty, and 17 hours later, you're still
Yeah.
killing boars in the forest.
That's what WoW was for 10 years though, and
It definitely was.
still is. So we can't say that we're so much better.
We are now.
Um,
We are as a community. I think MMO gamers have evolved.
yeah, hopefully. I mean, I still know like 4-year-olds who play WoW, but hopefully, the aim is that games will get or robust enough that there'll be something for everybody, which is something that single player games struggle with, I think, because, it's difficult. Like Dishonored is a really fun game, but it's only going to be really fun to people that like that kind of game. And
Hmm.
whereas like WoW is like, oh, you can grind, oh, you can roleplay, oh, you can whatever. Anyway, I'm preaching to the choir here.
We
So,
play Pokemon in WoW now, so you can do it. You could do it all in WoW.
yeah,
There's
I
even
heard that.
pandas, so I don't know.
Uh, Jeez,
I know I have
sorry.
not gotten into the expansion. I mean, it looks pretty. It looks really pretty. The music's great. I just don't want to play a panda, and I have nothing against. Like, oh my God, what a stupid race. It's just not my cup of tea, and it's hard to get into.
So I guess you're not a furry then.
No, I'm not. No, no.
You just like playing beasts, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I know
monsters.
it's monsters. Yeah. I know it's strange because it's like I'm playing, well, now I have to start over again, but I was playing a Khajiit, the cat race in Skyrim, and I'm not a furry at all, but I was playing this Khajiit and I was getting all like, like I was saying role playing, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he was born as a kitten, blah blah blah." And then I was like, "Am I a did I turn into a furry? When did this
What's
happen?"
this collar around my neck? Why do I have this craving for milk? And
Well, fresh meat for a Khajiit, but and I don't know, I think I'm so afraid of becoming a furry that it's like there's like this mental block.
honestly, like they get a lot of hate, and a lot of our fans are actually furries, and
A
I
lot of
don't really
mine too.
care. Like people can do whatever they want. If that's what floats their boat, whatever. I mean, bestiality is something entirely different. But
Yeah.
they're not
I
really
know.
as bad as they're made out to be. A lot of them are really
Yeah.
nice people.
Oh
It's only a
yeah, yeah.
small percentage that are actually, just
Yeah.
like everyone,
Crazy.
every fetish or kind of hobby has some
Yeah.
a darker undertone.
Yeah. No, I know, definitely. I mean, a lot of my fans are furries too because all their YouTube icons are pictures of animals, and every time I like mention furries, they're like, "Oh my God!" But yeah, I know a lot of furries, but like I think the reason I'm kind of oversensitive about them is that a lot of the ones I've known in real life are super annoying. Like I always tell people about this one who shall not be named, who showed up in like all of my Grossmont classes, and he would go over to older people in the class and he'd be like, "Do you know what a furry is?" And then they'd be like, "No." And he'd say, "Oh, well, it's someone that dresses up in animals, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that's weird?" And if they said, "Yeah, that's weird," he would like unload on them. And this was his hobby to just like go up to random people and start yelling at them about furries. And it was like, it's like you're free to do whatever you want, but it's like, not to jump into heavy stuff, but whether you're pro-choice or whatever, it's bad tact to like go up to random people and start fighting with them about it. And but anyway, the furries. Sorry, tangent. I talk a lot. Furries and steampunk. I'm coming to terms with because I'm starting to learn. Like you said, there's a lot of decent people in those fandoms. I just happen to have the luck of running into the most annoying ones. But
Well, those are just every person can be annoying, and
yeah,
just because they have a quirk or something that might be a little unusual, I don't think necessarily, makes them annoying. But there's annoying people no matter where you
yeah,
go.
yeah. And then, I look in representation in video games. Like one of the things that I'm very interested in is the representation of homosexual and transgendered, etc. in video games and, TV and everything. And we're slowly making progress, but I still notice that in most scenarios, that is their key feature. Like no character is just happens to good English, just happens to be gay and everything else. It's like, oh, they're gay, that's all they're known about. And I'm hoping that that will change, and I think it is changing. But it's funny because for a long time we didn't even have any not super generic characters. And now when we do have them, it's like the developers are like, look, we put a gay character in our game, don't we get a like cookie and a gold star? And it's like, well, no, because you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot by making
Oh,
a big
Mass
deal out
Effect,
of
they
it.
had a couple gay characters in
Yeah,
there. They
yeah,
got a cookie. They
yeah.
got lots of cookies and gold stars.
They had bisexual characters, which is amazing, which is fantastic that they would have that. But then on the other hand, you have a lot of people that hate BioWare
Well,
for having
they're
that.
every company.
Yeah,
Let's just throw
I
out
mean,
names. EA. Is Sierra still around? Is that too old? Do they still
Sierra,
make games?
yeah, I think so. I don't know. I still remember their icon. I know they made like Myst and Tomb Raider, and or maybe I don't know. I don't remember computer company names as much anymore. Although the other day I was looking up this web page that had like all the old icons for all the companies that are now defunct, and it made me feel very old looking at all these icons.
It's sad
But
too. You're like, I remember that game. Oh, they're not together anymore. Oh wait, they turned
yeah,
into another company, and that company's gone too.
yeah, like Bullfrog. Did you ever play Dungeon Keeper?
No, I didn't.
Oh, did you ever hear
Well,
of
that's the
Dungeon
end of
Keeper?
that conversation. No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, if you ever, run out of games, you should check. I think it's on goodoldgames.com. Although the port is a little bit
What
weird.
what
So,
are all my pixels that I have in what's it get? In the new Tomb Raider, which I really have enjoyed. It's really cool.
well, that's good. Yeah, I know, like female strong character. Although, don't even get me started.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's
well,
okay.
if you ever do check it out, it's fun, but it's nice because it's a you basically take over this or you make this dungeon. You have the various creatures, and you can't directly control the creatures. You have to like kind of incentive to get them to do anything. But it has a really hilarious sense of humor, and you have this really deep voiced British guy who's the narrator, and it's awesome because he'll say really ridiculous things, but he'll say it in his deep British voice. So it's like, your dungeon is full of yogurt. And it's just like, I don't know, it's titillating. But anyway, yeah, they were in the middle of making Dungeon Keeper 3, and then the company went defunct. But then I found out, and this was like in 1999, but I just found out a couple weeks ago that the company actually signed their rights over to some group of dedicated fans in a whole Kickstarter thing, and now they're making a spiritual successor. So,
I think
but they
there is
basically,
actually a game that's kind of like that, but you build your own dungeon and heroes come in and ransack it. I don't know if that's the same
yeah,
concept.
that's probably it. That's probably the same game,
Actually,
actually.
but it was like 3D, and it was like only a couple years ago. It's on
Are
Steam. I'll send you a link.
you talking about Overlord?
No, it's
No,
not
no, no.
Overlord, but that's kind of similar, kind of. But it's no, it's. I played the demo. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh.
I'll let you know.
Well,
I had to look it up.
yeah, yeah, because I really love that game. But anyway, yeah, it's just really sad, games like companies like that go defunct, whereas EA will be, EA and roaches are all that's going to be left when the world
I
ends.
don't know. Is EA is not a terrible company. They're just like I
Okay,
don't know why they keep winning the worst company in America when there's
Sims.
so.
Sims 3, 17 DLC packs. Each one is $20 to $40.
Well, there's big oil and stuff, and I I definitely think those companies might take the cake
Well,
for worst company in America.
yeah.
They're just an
I mean,
entertainment
kind of,
company.
that's kind of ridiculous, but I mean, on the scale of entertainment companies, EA
I'm not a
is
fan of The Sims, but I mean I liked Dark Spore and I liked the Alice games, so I like some of the Dead Space games too, but you
uh,
know Old
yeah.
Republic is kind of a weird feeling for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really into Star Wars. Plus, the Old Republic, I don't know. I played it when it first came out a little bit, and it just felt like single player with like weird attempts at multiplayer,
Yeah, yeah,
and
it did, didn't it?
it's kind of a messy. They tried, slow clap for
Yeah,
trying to
I
blend.
like the narrative and all that stuff it was engaging, but then I realized I'm not even playing with anyone, and then it
Yeah.
just kind of went downhill the further you got in the game, and you're like, I'm lonely. Where's a guild?
He's a real nowhere man sitting in his nowhere land. So you just mentioned a little while ago, but in your meet and greet, you mentioned that you liked Danny Elfman compositions, and I am also I love boys choirs. I can't help it. So are there any like well you said the new expansion for World of Warcraft, but are there any other games with musical scores that you really like?
Yeah, uh, Guild Wars 2. What's his name? I can't remember. I have a CD over there. But he put together. I think he did this. Did he do the Skyrim soundtrack too? I think he did. But
Maybe.
he's a really great composer, and he's putting together a symphony right now. I kickstarted it, helped kickstart
Nice.
it. He's really talented, so definitely check out Guild Wars, Skyrim. That's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, all good music.
Yeah. Not a guarantee that AAA games will have a good score though, because there's plenty of games out there with huge development studios and terrible music. So, or they have good music, but they only have very limited numbers. I mean, Assassin's Creed, I got so sick of the music because it was the same music over and over and over, which is kind of an MMO thing too. I mean, I haven't played WoW in years and I still remember every song, but I think it's like nice the first 3,000 times you hear it, and then after that you're like, oh my god. Like my mom plays games mute, like not even with the music off. She plays games completely with no sound, and it drives me crazy because I'll be watching her play Skyrim and she'll get attacked from behind, and she's like, it's annoying.
I don't know.
I
I
don't.
mean, yeah, WoW has kind of does kind of like it's hard to listen to it. I mean, it's nostalgic, but it's almost like oh, I've heard this so many times.
Yeah, or you tune it out. You don't even notice the music playing anymore. Um, this doesn't even. Why did I write this down? But basically, okay. How about people? Imagine you have a friend. Yeah, imagine you have a friend. No, I'm kidding.
Imagine I have a
Imagine you
friend.
have
I don't know, I'm a lonely guy.
all your fans are like, "Oh my god, it's a joke to relax." Imagine you have a friend who has only played single player games and they want to get into MMOs. What game would you recommend to them, and what would your advice be?
Well, if you're a little kid, Pirate 101 is actually really fun. It's basically like Shining Force, and that's like a really obscure game, but it's awesome. So it's like turn-based, and just totally check it out. Even if you're an adult, Pirate
It's like
101
that
is really fun.
penguin one.
No, no, it's like
Okay.
I can't describe it. It's kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics, or
Oh,
there's
interesting.
like so all these other Japanese games I cannot remember, but I think it's called Shining Blade or Shining Force. You have like a centaur and you control the units
Is it one of those
individually.
free to play
It
ones?
is. It is free to play.
Okay, because I think I've seen the ads pop up all
Yeah.
over the place. Well, what if they're not a little
If you're
kid?
not a little kid, Guild Wars 2, my favorite game right now. It's so fun. I just love
Yeah,
it.
and Guild Wars 2 doesn't have a monthly subscription fee, as far as I know, which is amazing because that's always been a huge, because it's like with World of Warcraft, I would pay for like a month and then I would only play 10 hours and I'd feel
Yeah.
super bad. I'm like, oh, I wasted that money. But with Guild Wars, it's there when you want it. You don't have to keep paying for it, which actually kind of loops me into a future question. So you're mostly a PC gamer, yes?
Right, I have a PS3, but I mainly use it to watch 3D Blu-rays. But I have a couple games, and I have a
Yeah.
Vita, but it's
Yeah,
mostly PC.
David said the Vita is basically only good when you're on a flight
Yeah,
in the
that's what I
airport.
use it for.
That's yeah, the Game Informer, they had like the April Fools, every April issue they have a little bit that's like joke reviews and stuff. And they were like top 10 games for Vita, and it was like Little Big Planet, Gravity Rush, Settings, and then the rest of them were blank. Because there's like no
It
games
does
for
not
Vita.
have that many good games, and it's how long has it
Yeah.
been out? It's really
Yeah.
sad, but there's cool. Gravity Rush is a good one. That's a good one to
Yeah,
play.
I played the demo. I don't know, like the back thing freaks me out. My newest handheld is a DS, not even a 3DS, just a regular DS. And actually, I've been playing Pokemon Pearl again, so yay, classics.
There you go.
I mean,
I
Pearl's
mean,
old.
what is it? The PS4 is supposed to make more use of the Vita, which I'm excited about because it could
That's
turn into an awesome controller, or I don't even know. Even if the games, if you can start playing all your PS4 games on it, which they kind
yeah.
of demo, that'd be pretty sweet. So
But then again, like that doesn't make sense to me because I don't understand why you would have this and the TV. Like, isn't that kind of like that's the
I don't
Wii
know.
U,
What was Nintendo
That's
thinking? I don't.
yeah. I don't know. And they're like, "Oh, you can play your Wii game on the tablet." And I'm like, "Then why wouldn't you just put all the games on the tablet? Like, what is the possible benefit?" And I don't know. But I know I'm gonna eventually have to get Wii U because Zelda. But, until
I'm gonna
that
wait
day,
till all the bugs are ironed out, and maybe I'll consider it. But you know,
yeah. Wait until the one
we'll
after
see.
the Wii U comes out.
Yeah, we got new Xbox coming and a new,
PS3.
PlayStation. So
PS.
yeah, it's.
Yeah, most of the things I've heard are not things that I'm excited about. Like, oh, integration with Facebook, always
I
online,
got
can't
I got
play,
Steam
use
is good
games.
for me. I like that Steam, and
Yeah.
I'm happy with that personally.
Yeah, I know. Digital downloads are awesome because you can access them from any computer. Although the Steam Cloud has some problems, wiping out save games and stuff
Yeah, I've
like
had
that.
that problem.
Yeah, I was gonna play Borderlands with you guys on a stream, and I went to go check my characters, and they were all level 1, and I was like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Oh, my mom logged onto my Steam from her computer, and it re-saved over all my characters." That plan went out the window. Um, what are Sorry, I'm really bad at jumping into other questions. Usually I don't have questions, but I don't know. What are some of your favorite game characters, heroes, and villains? What makes for a good character? Since you like role playing and story
I don't
and
know. I mean, I gotta say, Shepard from Mass Effect is probably that's such a it's a great character because it can be whatever you want it to be, kinda, but somehow it
yeah,
still works. So I
I
kind
assume
of
you
I
were a
like
girl.
Shepard. Yeah, I mean, it could be any Shepard can be anyone, like
Yeah.
it could be a man, a
What
woman,
did
it could
you
be.
pick? Did you pick like Renegade, or were you like tough, or were you like a mediator?
I played from number two and then kind of kept it. So she had like a dark kind of a dark stint in number two. Got really kind of out of it, and then when she was when she was brought back, it was kind of like cracking and stuff. But then in number
Nice.
three, I think she kind of evened out. So
She
I didn't
came full
really
circle.
I wasn't consciously thinking about it. I was just kind of trying to get into her head. What would she do? Or
Well, see, that's good role playing when it's organic and it
yeah.
just becomes second
Well,
nature.
honestly,
Did,
though, I kind of just build characters that I can relate to enough, so then I don't have to think too much about it. So, I mean, it's kind of
so
cheating,
you're
but
a ship spaceship commander who died and was
exactly,
reconstructed, and,
yeah.
and who did you romance?
I can't remember her name. I can't remember the species name either. It's been so long. This one with the
Sorry,
tentacles.
sorry, the blue
Sorry,
ones.
yes. What's her name?
Liliana?
Yeah,
Lil
it took a
oh.
while. That was since
Liliana's from Dragon Age. I don't know.
I don't
So
know.
you didn't like Garrus, the one with the pincher mouth.
Well, I'm just not. I don't know. I mean, if it fit the character, but I'm not gay personally, so I don't like men.
Well,
So it was gonna be a woman. So hot lesbian action, I can get into that. But I mean, Gareth is cool. I liked him, and he survived in my game, and I was happy about that. So
Yeah, I liked him. I would go Xenophile for him.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen fan art of a lot of
I was
them.
kidding, but okay.
No,
I like,
dive
yeah,
in. If you want to not be disappointed, there's so much Garrus on Shepherd action.
yeah.
All for you.
No, I remember some of the comments because I did romance him. I played FemShep and I romanced with Garrus, and I remember the Doctor guy in 2. I've never actually played 3. I bought it and I haven't played it yet, except for the
What?
demo. I
So
know.
good. Except for the ending,
I
but that's okay. They kind of
I
remedied
like
a little bit.
yeah,
The
like
journey
whatever.
is worth it. Number three is awesome.
I like fantasy better, but I'll
There's
play it
so many
eventually.
aliens, though, it almost feels like fantasy.
I like dragons. No, I'm playing Skyrim again.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
but no, the doctor guy with the eyeballs, he would make comments and he was like, there must be special preparation so that you aren't like lacerated from below.
Love him. I love him. You need to play number three. Play number three and find out
I
why.
will, I will, I will. I have all these games. I feel so guilty playing Skyrim because it's like I have Tomb Raider, haven't beat it. I'm kind of working on Dungeon Siege, haven't beat it, haven't beat El Shaddai. Just beat Sleeping Dogs, which is super awesome. I mean, I don't know if you'd have any interest in it, but I think it was really fun. Um, but yeah, I know I need to play it. It's like everybody, the picture of their Steam library, and it's like all these games that they haven't touched,
You want to
and
take a
then I
look at
find
mine? I
myself,
can list mine. Let's
okay,
see if yours stacks up.
oh, I don't have that
I
many.
don't have them all installed, but
Yeah.
there's just
Well,
like
I would be worried if you had every game installed.
there's only 91. So Ace of Spades, Ion, Aliens, Colonial Marines, Assassin's Creed 3, uh, Audio Surf, whatever that is. Awesome Gods, Back to the Future, all 5 episodes, Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, BioShock, BioShock Infinite, Blood Bowl, Borderlands.
Not Border Shock or BioShock 2.
Huh?
You only have BioShock and BioShock
I
Infinite.
played BioShock 2 way back when, so I don't have it on Steam. What else
My
do I have?
completionist wouldn't let me do that. I'd have to have all of them.
I got Castle
I, I,
Crashers.
I bought Devil May Cry 1 and 3, and I wouldn't let myself play it until I got 2 as well.
Yeah, I have Devil May Cry 2, the new one. I liked it. I like it. I haven't beat it yet. Most of these I haven't even beat. So this is like,
Yeah.
so I got Siders. I got the Dead Space games, Demigod, Dino D-Day. That's a one that no one knows about. Dungeon Siege, Dungeon
Played,
Defenders, Dragon Age
have you
games.
played Xenoclash?
Huh?
Have you ever played Xenoclash?
I don't think I have.
Okay, check it out because it is really weird, and there's apparently a sequel out now. It's a brawler, so like your left and right mouse buttons control your fists, but the you actually probably might like it because you know you're interested in like the unusual graphics kind of thing. It's a really trippy game, but not trippy like psychedelic. It's not like El Shaddai. Like everything is very solidly colored, but the races and the people are all very uniquely designed. So it's really interesting. It's one of those games that you like you don't really enjoy it, but you're fascinated by it.
Oh, okay.
Which doesn't sound
Well,
like
I
a good
like playing games that I don't really enjoy. That's what I'm all about. So I hook me up. I got
It's not
Dota, I got Divine Cybermancy, I got Skyrim, Fable 3, the Family Guy game, Forge, Game of Thrones, Gotham City Imposters, Guild Wars 2, Guns
you
of Icarus, Half-Life 2,
are the
Hero
gifts.
Academy, Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet, Iron Brigade, which is really fun, King's Bounty, LA Noire, Lara Croft and the Guardian Light, Left 4 Dead, Lego Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, War in the North, Magic the Gathering, Natural
I just
Selection, Orcs Must Die, which is really fun. Portal 2, Primal
oh
Carnage,
I
Renegade
love
Ops,
this
Rift,
stuff.
Saints Row the Third, Sanctum, Serious Sam, Star Trek, Old Republic, Terraria, Titan Quest, Tomb Raider, Torchlight 2. What else? And Warframe is really fun. That's a cool game. I don't know. I don't know. It's for free. You can play it. Warframe. Oh, and XCOM. Sorry, that's the last one. There you go. That's my list.
That's pretty impressive. There's some really random things on there.
Well,
Did you
Steam.
buy all
No.
those?
Steam has a lot of free games, so some of those you don't even have to pay for. Or it
That's
was
why.
gifted to them by fans, so like
Yeah.
I haven't played a lot of them, but they're
Okay.
there waiting for me.
Family Guy game. I can just see you like open the Steam and it's like on sale today, the Family Guy, and you're like, oh shit, son, I gotta buy this right now.
Hey, it's not that bad of a game. It's okay. I mean, for what it is, which is not a very good idea at all, but you know, it was amusing.
Hey, it's okay. I mean, when I was younger, basically the first system I got was Sega Genesis, and I had 6 games. That was all I played for a really long time. I had Echo the Dolphin, Tides of
Oh yeah,
Time.
that's scary. That's a scary game. You know when like you would like go up too high
No.
or something and it'd be like this creepy sound and it was
Oh God,
scary. You
yeah.
go to like a
No.
different world or something. It was scary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, you're the dolphin and the alien Medusa attacks you, and there's like aliens. And actually, every time I would go up to an alien, I would pause the game and go get my mom to kill the alien for me.
Uh,
Because like I could totally handle the sharks and I could handle the jellyfish, but it was an interesting, awesome game. Because I mean, like I actually played a ROM of it fairly recently, and I was kind of astounded at how well it held up, even though the graphics, it's sprite based, but it's still a really interesting game. Oh, it's on Steam too. Actually, it's under Sega Classics, but
the
you need.
company was actually trying to they unsuccessfully tried to kickstart a sort of a successor, a spiritual successor. I don't know if you heard about that. We should check it
No.
out. They're trying to do another one, but sort of a toned down. They were a little too ambitious. So you check it
Mm.
out if you like Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah, I'll look into that because I really like that one. Anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and a Simpsons game, which was so bad, but it was
Really?
back then.
It wasn't the
Yeah.
arcade one, right? It was something.
No, I don't think it was the
The
arcade
arcade
one. It
one
was
was
a different
cool.
one. Yeah, the arcade one was pretty fun, and there's like a racing one. But anyway, so I basically have all these games completely memorized. Oh, and Aladdin and
Did you
Lion
play
King.
Altered
So
Beast? That was a fun game.
yes.
The one
Oh,
that
I
originally
love
shipped with the
those.
Genesis.
Yeah,
Power up.
I like Primal Rage better though. Speaking of beast races,
Primal Rage?
Primal
Is that the one
Rage.
with the dinosaurs and the...
Yes,
That
yes.
was pretty cool.
That was an.
I
I
like
wish
that one.
they would remake that game because that game is awesome.
Yeah.
Now all we have is like Tekken and Soul Calibur. We don't have any like cool beast fighting ones, or if we do, I don't know about them.
Well, you,
But
you got the Infinite Crisis or what? I don't know. What is the new one that came out? Not Infinite Crisis. The DC one.
is it a fighter?
Heroes Among Us or something, or Gods
I don't
Among
know.
Us. There we go. Gods
Oh
Among Us?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. The only fighting game I really play now is Soul Calibur, and I'm really bad at it. So I haven't really been into fighter games since Primal Rage because like I like beast races. Like you, I like beast races. I feel like I'm doing 90% of the talking. I'm sorry.
Makes my job easier. No, I haven't noticed at all.
Okay,
You can
good.
let the people down there decide.
Oh, I'm sure
'Cause,
your fans. Why did you look?
I don't know in the comments. Because they're. I think the comments will be down there, or maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really perverted today. Anyway,
Oh.
yeah,
Oh,
no, I
oh, that, now everyone is in their minds. They were just happily watching, talking about video games with Bunny. And
really want to look
now we gotta
down
put caution.
like
This is an
that.
R-rated stream.
R-rated. Wow, this escalated quickly. No, it's like that little bit that you have in your act now, where Hatchworth has crabs in his pants, and you're like, I'm talking to your crotch. And every
Little
time,
bit. Excuse me. You know, unless you've seen it, I wouldn't call a little bit. But yeah, the crabs, and I'm yelling at his crotch. I mean,
like the first time I saw that, I'm like, he said crotch. Oh my god.
we also say crap on stage. I think it's okay now to say crap on cartoons. I think it
It
is.
depends on who you talk to. Because like my
Ants.
parents,
Ants with C.
I
They said crap. They said
yeah, my
crap, and that was
parents
back in what, 98?
my parents yell at me if I say shut up. So,
Well, that's just rude.
but even in like a video game, like someone's going on and I'm like shut up. My mom's like that's rude. I'm like really? Anyway, sort of related. What's your favorite game from childhood?
Man, we would rent this one called Cyborg Justice
Yeah.
all the time. It was really hard and we couldn't get past the first level. But you had to customize your own cyborg.
What system?
Sega.
Genesis.
This. Yeah,
There are multiple Sega consoles.
Sega Saturn. No, I was up and doing PlayStation at that time, I think. But um,
I didn't get a PlayStation until PlayStation 2 when it was almost done because Soul Calibur 3 came out and I had never gotten a PlayStation, but Soul Calibur 2 had Link in it from Legend of Zelda.
yeah.
So then I way later got it. Anyway,
Okay,
sorry.
well, I like the customization. That really, early on in gaming, you didn't have a lot of customization except like Bomberman. It's like, oh, I get to be the Australian one or something. Like it was so exciting for me. So when
Mhm.
MMOs kind of you could create your own or RPGs, the more you could customize, the more I like the game.
Yeah.
That's
And now
what it's
you have
all.
a lot more options too, because I remember people flipped their poop when you could get. I don't know
Flip
why I'm
their
censoring
poop. Is
myself.
that
Flip
that?
their shit. I don't know why I'm censoring myself.
I've never seen
Anyway,
anyone flip their poop.
monkeys
The
at the zoo.
imagery is somehow.
Anyway, when they had the haircuts at World of Warcraft, so you could like make your hair more fancy, and people were like, "Oh my god!" like freaking out over that.
I know. I
Um,
was too. Immediately,
you're
I
like,
made all my undead have pigtails. No.
anyway, actually, you mentioned you have Terraria. Did you play that like extensively at
Oh my
all?
god, no. I could not keep up with Sam and Steve. They got so crazy with it. I
Yeah.
logged in one day and was like, oh, this is fun. Then the next day I logged in, they had built this giant tower, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this.
They can give you stuff so that you can jump ahead. But no, I know, like that happens with everybody I introduced Terraria to. They would all like go crazy and go super far ahead of me. But there's the Link outfit in the game, so I like that.
It's fun.
But anyway, so I don't know if you've been following Starbound at all, but you're talking about customization, and so basically. Finn or Thierry, he was the artist for Terraria, and then after Terraria, he went and started his own company called Chucklefish, and they've been working on this game called Starbound for the last couple of years. And one of the things that's going to be really awesome about Starbound is that it's kind of like Borderlands in that there's like randomly generated armor and guns and stuff, but from my understanding, you're going to be able to take like different parts from them and like make your own stuff. Like I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but basically one of the reasons it's taking so long for them to develop the game is because they're coming up with all these new mechanics. And don't take me at my word because I might be misremembering, but I know that they're going to have a bunch of stuff like that. There's going to be all these randomly generated planets that you can visit, and there's going to be like when you fight a monster, you can sort of Pokemon-ish, like make it your own monster, which is actually, you probably haven't played Final Fantasy 13 2. I haven't beaten it because it's weird and you like jump and time travel and everything. But what's interesting about Final Fantasy 2 is your party is 3 members big, but there's always the main girl who you are, and then there's always this other guy. But then the third slot is you can take monsters after you fight them, and you don't always get them, but after you fight them, you can put them in your party and they'll have different strengths, and you can like put other monsters inside of them to give them like different powers, which sounds really weird, but I'm hoping that it's going to be something like that in Starbound. The only thing about Starbound is that it's it's little tiny sprites. It's not 3D or anything
Well,
like that.
the indie games are cool. Like
Yeah,
Fez and all those ones. Those are great.
the ones that expand beyond the generic platform are cool,
Yeah,
but unfortunately, a lot of them are like jump on platforms and try not to die, and it's like,
that's
eh.
true. That's true. There's
I
some
mean,
gems. There's some good stuff that.
yeah. The
That's
ones that
cool.
the platforms that jump ahead, I think, are the ones that have like a weird sense of humor, like Super Meat Boy, where you're
Yeah,
like
yeah. I
a
like
ball of
those.
meat.
You say monsters. You know what I miss? And I think this was in one of the newer Castlevania games, like maybe the first 3D one. Every time you fight a monster, like I think that it would come up in your monster encyclopedia and you could learn more about it. Like and there was like a couple games I've played, and there's just not enough of this where like the monsters you fight, you get to actually learn more about them, like rotate the model around or see some concept
Huh.
art. I like that shit.
I think
That's like
a lot of Japanese games have that, I think.
yeah, man, I miss that. I wish like Guild Wars did it or any game I play because it's like you see all this cool animation going on, but then
Well,
you're like
you're interested in the
you're
lore,
into
that's the
meat
thing.
gibbs, and they're like
Yeah,
yeah, but think
because you
about this. What if you kind of unlock the picture, and the more you fight, the more proficient you get at it, and then you learn its weak spot or something. Think about that.
that's a
Yeah.
lot like Final Fantasy. So, no, that's
So.
that's cool. They should have that.
Well, I thought it was an original idea.
Yeah, it's total never existed. Here you go, coin it,
All right, all right.
copyright it.
We got a game. It's gonna be called Monster. What's the other thing that we'll use that other mechanic from that game you were talking about. Well, you could put the
Customization.
monsters that you find and put them inside
Pokemon.
other monsters, great baby monsters that are a hybrid between a griffin and a centaur. But
Well, it's not quite that sophisticated, but that would be awesome. I think in regards to that, it's still going to be, that's one of the reasons that I really like novel style role playing is because it's all in your head, so you can come up with basically anything you want. It's up to you to make sense, but it'd be nice if games get to that level of customization. That was kind of one of my questions is like what besides graphics, what kind of advancements do you see happening that you're happy with and would you like to see more of? I guess obviously customization is one of them.
well, games I think the, we're the games just keep getting more and more complicated looking and graphics, and they keep getting shorter.
Yeah.
because of how good the graphics are. But as far as MMOs are concerned, which is really all I really play. I think there's been some great advances. I think the more real-time combat is catching on. The
Hmm.
faster that technology gets, the faster it will be. So, in a few years, we probably can't even imagine the things that we'll be able to do. I do kind of think I've been hearing this a lot, is that getting away from all numbers and that combat will be sort of like you have a gun and you're shooting a certain point of the body, and maybe it bounces off their armor, maybe it doesn't, but it's more about hitting a vital spot. And you can't really do that in today's MMOs because
Yeah.
because
It's too complicated.
how many bullets do you have to shoot a guy with before he dies?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it
that's what
always
I was
bugs me.
mentioning. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning right in the beginning is that now we have shooter MMOs and we couldn't do that before because lag was too much of an issue. Yeah, no, that would be nice because it's really I'm so used to like zombie games where you always go for the head, except for Dead Space, obviously. That when I play a game, I just automatically go for headshots anyway. But then a lot of games it doesn't matter, and I'm like, why am I making it more difficult on myself for no reason?
That's a start. Defiance takes headshots into account, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Defiance is it's funny because a lot of people I've talked to about Defiance, they don't really care about the show, but a lot of people really like the game. They really like some of the concepts of the game are
The
coming
show's
out.
kind of
Yeah, Sci-Fi
It's all
Channel.
right. It's all right. It's probably one of their
The only really
better
good, yeah, the
programs.
only really good sci-fi shows are ones that are not made by sci-fi.
It's unfortunately true, but yeah, Defiance is a pretty horrid show, but I don't know.
Aw,
It's a fun gimmick.
horrid.
It's a
Yeah,
fun gimmick. I just wish it was executed better, like with a better
yeah,
art style and story. But whatever. I mean, it's a start.
yeah. That's the thing that, that's I think why like Lord of the Rings was so groundbreaking was that it had amazing costumes and a really good story and script
Yeah,
writing.
yeah.
And we were all like, "Yay!" And then it went back to, it's either have good costumes or have good script writing. For some reason they can't seem to fund both. And it's just like, is it really
I
that
like I
expensive?
don't know. I like The Hobbit. I thought it was fun.
No, I love The Hobbit. I'm talking about like Defiance kind of
Oh,
thing.
well, it's because
Yeah.
sci-fi. They already, they made like some terrible made-for-TV movies. So what can you expect from them? Not much. Not
Better,
much.
just better, faster, stronger. I don't know. I think that I just don't understand why they don't bother. Because it's like if they're gonna put so much time and effort in the costumes, why don't they go just that little extra distance to make sure that the story's good? Like,
I don't
it
know.
seems like
I
they're
don't.
shooting themselves in the foot. I don't know.
It doesn't really
I
make
don't
sense. I don't know.
know. Okay, I'll ask you one more question and then I'll let you go because we're approaching an hour. So thanks for giving me a whole bunch of your time. I
No
really
problem.
appreciate it. I hope that people enjoy the whole video and I hope that the video doesn't mess up. Because if it does, I will cry.
Well,
I've already cried.
we'll have to do another one at another date then, or
Okay.
something.
But hopefully it works. Um, okay, so we were kind of already talking about this, but basically, if you could make any game and, not necessarily technology that exists now, but technology that you can feasibly see existing in a year or a couple of years, what would your ideal game be? What kind of technology would it be? Would it involve? What kind of setting? I'm guessing it would be an MMO. Would it be like sci-fi or fantasy or both or
Yeah, well, being in steam-powered Giraffe, I think, I always kind of think like, how could that work in an MMO? But it's not as easy right now, so I think that's kind of a bad idea. Maybe some sort of
well, why?
free-to-play
Why wouldn't it work?
multiplayer game. It's just that you start. I don't know. We've started thinking about it, like, but it's kind of limiting right now. Maybe as we expand the story, but it would probably honestly it would probably appeal to. It would be like one of the like Pirate 101 or something, where it's kind of
Hmm.
appealing to everyone and it's not so graphic intensive. But if I had it my way, I would make a cool MMO that's not based on any of that, on my own stuff, because I'm writing a book and stuff, and it's like steampunk horror, so a bunch of supernatural stuff in Victorian.
Wait, a book like a novel?
Yeah, I'm writing a novel. It's
Oh.
taking a few
You're a
years.
pretty good writer from what I remember, so that's interesting.
It's gonna take a while, but yeah, I've been ever since my game development class that I dropped out of. I was a game developer major actually, and I dropped out of
Yeah,
it
did
because
you go to art school for like
I
half a
went to
year?
art school for game design, and I dropped out because the industry just is crap. I was not gonna go anywhere. So
Yeah.
so I
Well,
had that
most of the
knowledge, and
people, yeah, most of the people I know that are doing games now didn't have a degree in it. So,
yeah, honestly, it's Yeah, it was a stupid idea, but whatever. I was fresh from high school, and either way, I developed that. I had that game idea, and it's been sitting and kind of brewing for so long, and it's kind of just turned into its own world. So I
And
think
what
an
is your
MMO
game
would be
idea?
really cool. I
Or you're
mean,
not going to tell us?
in that setting, it's an MMO
Like a
that
robot steampunk setting, or
it's Victorian horror,
so like BioShock, but
like
BioShock meets
werewolves. I
Cthulhu
guess you can say like kind of like Van Helsing, but better written and stuff. You know, like it's kind of that
or White
gothic
Wolf.
steampunk werewolf vampires. So it's yeah. The name of my book is Witherworld, and that's the kind of the universe, and it's all about uh, you know, just the supernatural kind of consuming the world. And there's everything from, you know, mummies come up into it to the Martians attack and their tripods. So it's basically taking all Victorian literature and kind of like giving it a spin and kind of, I don't know, putting a little twist on it. So it's
So like a
fun.
sci-fi horror twist. No, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, people should blend genres more, I think, because it's like people, games and stuff, they're so, this is only horror, this is only fantasy, and it's like, why
Mm.
don't we mix it up, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think definitely art, like you were saying, art design is really important to me. But I also realized if I didn't have a good story, this is just why am I even spending years thinking about this? So the art style I know I'll get down, like it's kind of developing, and I have some cool ideas. But the story I've been working on for the last couple of years, just to make the setting more believable and a place that you actually want to explore, because otherwise. You know, you can have all these cool game mechanics in your head and stuff, and they don't
Yeah.
mean anything if your setting is
Yeah.
stupid. So,
Yeah. Well, don't take too long on that book because you never know. There might be a steampunk MMO just around the corner and
there
you
will
gotta.
be, but I think that's the idea. There will be steampunk MMOs and probably a lot of vampire MMOs soon. There are a couple. None of them are good,
Yeah.
it's, but it's just like there's so many fantasy MMOs. Guild Wars is still kind of a fresh take, even with all the
Yeah, I
Titan.
mean, Guild Wars, it's fantasy, but it's like different races, like all the races are not there. You could draw comparisons, but they're kind of unique. Like I really like the plant people in Guild Wars, and it's weird because I
Yeah,
never really liked plant type races before, but I don't know, I just think they're I like that they're young for one thing, because they're kind of like the elf race, because they're
exactly.
like the nature one. And usually in most fantasy, they're like elves were the first one to exist and humans are the new ones. And I thought it was a nice lampshade that they were like, nope, they're new.
Not only that, like dragons in the game are just these evil, monstrous forces of nature, and
Mhm.
dwarves and all that, all these kind of classic races are basically dying. Like human, it's the age
Yeah,
of man, basically.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't know,
that's kind of like Lord of the Rings,
kind
but
of, I guess, but it is weird because like the people who are on top, like the Char, are like the most dominant race. You know,
mhm.
it's so weird, but it's so cool and refreshing.
Yeah, the Char are refreshingly like single-minded, I think, which is one of the reasons that it's fun to play them, because it's fun to play characters with depth, but at the same time, it's kind of therapeutic to just be like, me Char, me kill things.
Oh, you think they're one-dimensional? Well,
No, I don't
obviously you
think they're
don't.
one dimensional. I just think they're very passionate about fighting and,
They
war.
are.
And
They are.
so, I have a couple of chars that I made. I think the chars are really cute too, but
Oh, cute. No, they are.
I think all of them are cute.
They're horned cat
Yes, they're
who are
adorable.
atheists. They killed their own god. That's how cool they are. They were like, we're done
Yeah,
with this. We're not gonna worship anything anymore. And they just, killed their god. So it's
that
pretty
just made me think of Game of Thrones. But anyway, spoilers.
really
Um,
Ned
so
Stark.
yeah,
What?
well, when the scene when they're like burning all the statues, because the red woman is like, we're only worshiping the sun god now, and so they
Is
destroyed
that
all
in
their
the
old gods.
series or is that in the book?
I guess it's only in the book. I thought it was in the show
I don't think
too.
I've gotten that far. Maybe it is in the show.
Maybe they cut it
I'm
out. I
only
don't
up
know.
to
They cut out a
season
lot, but it's not a
three.
big spoiler. You already know that the red woman's like crazy, and she's all like, oh,
What?
there's only one god.
I thought she was definitely gonna be the good guy in this one. You've
She's the
ruined
hottest
it for me.
character, but
I don't know.
she.
Ned Stark was pretty hot before he lost his head. Whoa! Because
Oh my gosh, I just checked out a thing from BBC that I was watching that is a really old show called Clarissa, and it has Sean Bean in it, and it's from 1991. He is
Clarissa explains it all.
No,
No?
it's a period piece.
Oh.
But Sean Bean's in it, and he's only like 20 or
What?
something like that, and it's like he plays this like really unscrupulous, yeah, it's a word, unscrupulous like rogue character, and he has no facial hair, and like you can barely tell it's him, and it's just so weird because he doesn't have that. You know, when you watch Sean Bean act in things now, he has that like, I will lead you into battle kind
Like a
of,
Boromir type of.
yeah, that
Uh,
physique and that physical presence, I should say, and he doesn't have that at all in this, and it's just it feels like Body Snatchers because it's like, who are
it's kind of
you?
like the Goonies with what's his face? Oh, God, who's that guy in that? Josh Brolin. You're like,
Oh,
what? Okay, I guess
yeah,
you can kind of actually see him a lot in there, but it's just
yeah,
kind of weird that Josh Brolin was in the Goonies. I was just like, really, that
yeah.
was him?
I
Wow.
think mostly every actor, well, most good actors have like a point where they just departed from what they were before and became something completely different, maybe better. I mean, like obviously, unfortunately, Heath Ledger's happened right before he died, but or like well, like Sean Bean or I don't know, but Tom Cruise kind of went the opposite way because you saw Interview with a Vampire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was phenomenal as Lestat, and then all of a sudden he just became this like whatever character. But I don't know. Tangent. Who's your favorite actor and actress?
I like Gary Oldman is my favorite actor, but I have a long list, but Gary Oldman's my top one, and right now I think Anne Hathaway is taken for actress. It used to be Helena Bonham Carter, but I like what Anne Hathaway is doing.
Yeah, I really liked Anne Hathaway since Alice in Wonderland because I liked
Oh,
the fact
she's
that she was the good character, but she still had this underlying creepiness to her, which I thought
she's
was
a good
well done.
character actor. I hope she does more kind of characters like that. I mean, I didn't really like her in the new Batman movie, but that's more the director's kind of
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't like what they did with her there, but well, she was in Les Mis. She was great
yeah,
in that. She kind of stole the
yeah.
whole movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what all the jokes were like, for your consideration. La 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 la.
Yeah.
I know, like my theater class, people were dumping on her because they're like, "Oh, she took over the movie." I'm like, "Is that a bad thing? Like, isn't
Yeah,
it
have you
good when
seen the
someone?"
rest of the movie? Because it's not
Yeah,
very good.
I know. Like, I feel bad that
Impossible when
for
I can sing.
yeah, I feel bad for Russell Crowe because he's a good actor, but it's like, why did they hire him for a singing role? He can't
Well,
sing.
I think
But
he understood because at the end he did jump off that bridge, and
that
just kidding. I like Russell
was
Crowe.
such a
You know,
weird.
he's great.
That was a weird scene. Like that river looked like it was 1 foot deep. Like
What?
what?
That's why he cracked his neck and died
Yeah,
while this epic music played.
that was a scary scene.
Hugh
I
Jackman
didn't.
was there. I don't, and he went up to
Yeah,
Neverland or something, and I don't know.
I didn't like the young guy though, because his lips distract me. Because it's like he's an okay actor, but it's like whenever he was singing, I was just like, his lips are covering the entire screen.
That's okay. It was just a bunch of musical theater majors and drama kids from high school who were going to go to Denny's afterwards who watched the movie, and I'm sure they enjoyed it. And they're mostly probably fantasizing that they were in the role instead of the other actors. So I'm
Well, it's
glad.
funny.
We need more
I
musicals.
actually saw it the day it came out because I had just seen Hobbit and I was like, Mom, Dad, you have to see Hobbit. What's in theater? And we stupidly didn't buy tickets online because it was the middle of the day. I think it was Sunday. I didn't think it would be hard. We got there was huge lines, and I was like, what is going on? We want to go see the Hobbit. They're like, it's full. I'm like, well, what's playing? They're like, Les Mis. I'm like, okay. My mom fell asleep. She loves music and she loves musicals, and she fell asleep during Les Mis.
Well,
And the theater we saw it was broken. Only one of the speakers worked.
oh, you should have
So
a refund.
yeah, we should have. But
Didn't see how do you feel about Smaug and what is his name? Benedict Cumberbatch? Is that his name? You have
I
no
don't know
idea.
who's that.
That's like that's Sherlock, or he's Smaug, the dragon.
Oh,
No, do
the
you? He's in
voice.
Star Trek Into Darkness. He was in
Oh,
Warhorse. You don't even know who he is.
Sorry.
Okay, we'll look them up.
Well, I like that in Hobbit that they didn't show the dragon's face until the very end. I liked that. I like that they're actually making Smaug into like a badass dragon, because I know in like all the animated versions I saw of the Hobbit, Smaug was always kind of a joke character, you know, like he's like, "Oh, I'm a dragon, derp derp," and it's like dragons should be badass, just like vampires. You know, if you're gonna have a dragon, make him breathe fire, make him huge, make him deadly, make him scary. Although I do like, actually in Dungeons and Dragons, I like that there's the chromatics and the metallics, and how like the metallics, like the coppers, are my favorite because they're like tricksters. But you know, it's just like dragons are awesome and they're everywhere. Not as bad as vampires, but if you're gonna have them in something, make them a dragon. That's how I feel.
I agree. But in its defense, Dragonheart 2: A Spirited Beginning was a masterpiece of a movie. I think on that note, we should probably end it before the.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I've probably already switched to another channel by now.
No, I'm sure all the people will be here to watch yours. They watched like 2-hour videos of mine.
Watch it.
But
she needs retention. That helps the channel. So retain. Just keep looping this.
Yes, just keep. That's exactly right. Yeah, and let the ad play through all the way. Well, thank you very much for this hour and 5 minutes of your time, plus the couple minutes to set up. And I really hope that you have time someday that we can play Guild Wars together. So you
Find
can
me in the game. Find me in the game. I'll send you my my name.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure. It's been
like
a pleasure.
send me your bank account. And Paige as well. I know Paige also plays.
Yeah.
So everybody go see the Walter Robotics Expo, July 18th, 3 o'clock to 11, $25 tickets. Go to steampowerdraft.com. I feel like I'm pimping yours, so now you should pimp me. No, I'm kidding.
Keep watching. Support your fellow gamers, and type in the comment section some of the topics we've been talking.
Feel free to leave a comment that isn't just, "Oh my god, I love SPG." You know, feel free to talk about like
too. You know,
but you know, talk about games, gaming channel, gaming. All right, I'm gonna talk forever, so I'm gonna stop talking. Thank you. And would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye from all of us at Games Are for Fight.
Yeah, you said it right. You're apparently part of Games Are for Fight now. Okay, bye!